Hello, hello. How are you doing, everyone? My name is Diane Inameka, and I'm so excited to be presenting this masterclass. Happy Saturday, whenever you're watching this. So, the topic of today is why you should use astrology as the foundation of your business. So, for all you metaphysical people out there, all you spiritual people out there, the other astrologers as well, tune in. Something I will say I've realized about astrology is that at the end of the day, it's just a way of describing energetics. So we can start there. What is astrology? It's using the planets, the stars, the constellations to basically explain the happenings here on Earth. And that's just what it is. Astrology is a map of energy. When I do astrology readings, I always start off with that. It's just a way of explaining energy. It's energetics in motion. And also, a way you can test it, of course, is to compare it with your lived experience. If your astrological chart says something, then what you can do is compare that to situations in your life and see if it makes sense. But I've realized that the deeper you go into yourself and really reflecting, because that's another thing that astrology does. It helps you with reflection. It's a self-reflection tool. The deeper you go into yourself, you really are much more it's really much more easier to see these patterns in your life. So it's something I enjoy doing, and of course, to bring it together with business. So, the different planets play different roles. But for me, what I work with the most is the moon. The moon is the foundation. The moon is the foundation of ourselves. The moon is the foundation of your business as well. The moon is the most important planet because it's the foundation. So what is the moon and what does she represent? So the moon, she is the feminine, the divine feminine, the mother, nurturing, caretaker, all that you cannot see, because that is the feminine essence. The feminine essence is not always easily seen, but it's always there. It's always in flow, it's always in motion. If you think of the moon and the fact that it rules the waters, and then humans are at least 70% water. We could be more. Sometimes you think of these percentages and it's like, what if it actually differs from person to person? What if this person is 75% water and this person is 63? Who really knows? But we are definitely made up of water, and the moon rules the waters. So emotions as well. Then you also have to look at it as it is our home. Even the foundation, like think of like in your life, foundation is where you live. That's part of it. Your foundation is where you live and also where you come from. The moon is lineage. The moon is your mother, female members of your family, your line that comes before you, the things that you inherit. You can see this with the moon. And also the moon just represents things that are yet to come. So the moon is a very foundational planet and also really magical when you think about it. So in saying that, you should know that your business has its own foundation. Your business has its own foundation. You have your foundation. Call that your home. Your business has its foundation. You can also look at it as the mission. But it's that center thing that is grounding everything together. And it is an essence. It may not be able to be physically touched, but it's an essence. For humans, that's our foundation, our inner selves, our emotions, the moon. So, yeah. Also, your business has its own birthday. The same way you have a birthday, your business has its own birthday. You have your energetic signature, your business has its own energetic signature. So keep that in mind, because now we're going to be bringing it together. So let's see what we got here. So how to use astrology as the foundation of your business, or also even as a building block. Just know that the moon, she grounds us. The moon has cycles. Businesses have cycles as well. We have cycles as human beings, you know? And even the way that the moon relates to money. You can hit me up after this if you'd like to hear more about that. But the moon relates to money as well. But the moon has cycles. Businesses have cycles, you know? Sometimes, you know, like really, really, really busy periods, and then maybe sometimes more quiet ones, you know? Think of as humans. Really, when you think of us like the way we should work, it should be in cycles just like nature. You know, the idea of a 9 to 5 and then getting like 1 week off a year, that's not really representing the cycles of nature, which we are a part of. Okay, so the moon is the foundation, but the moon also has cycles. You have cycles as a human being, and your business has cycles. But it's a good way to ground things because it's also a reminder, because you can also use astrology in a philosophical way. Use it to just how it relates to life. You're not looking at things to be the same all the time. But when you think of foundation and you're thinking of building blocks, it's giving it some structure and it's giving it some strength. And your business deserves that. So you also have to know that the moon represents the true path forward. I liken it to this. When the moonlight is out there, when it's outside and it's dark and you can only see the moonlight, you cannot see everything clearly. Sometimes you can't see anything at all. But that's just a reminder of what's going on even in business. You're taking leaps of faith. You don't know the whole path. No matter what someone says, they don't really know. You're just taking a leap of faith. And also, of course, you know, there is data and there is research in business. Like if things work, if things don't work, you go off of that. But I am saying that ultimately, the same way that you cannot really see everything that's even going to happen the next day, that's the same with business. And that's what the moon represents. It's the true path forward because it reminds you that you cannot see everything, but to trust and to have faith and remember that things are in flow. And as humans, we should also be in flow. It's kind of like if something happens, you should look at it as something to react to, as opposed to looking at it as, oh, it's just like that and it cannot change. That's not true. That's not true at all. So, yeah. We're always moving in faith. You know, we're always moving in faith. So use that foundationally to build your business because it's that mindset reminder. These things are all related, you know. Even though it's said that astrology is woo-woo, you also have to look at it that really you're just likening it to things in your life. You know, like the moon is your foundation, your home. Like Mars is like your energy, your passion. Mercury is your communication. Saturn is karma, hard lessons. I'm getting into other planets, but to bring it back to the moon and astrology in general, you're just relating it to real life. That's one of the best ways to use it, to relate it to concepts in your life and to relate it to your life, your lived experiences in general. So, yeah, you know, with the moon, you're trusting, you're surrendering. You want that in your business as well. But to also know that when you're moving in energy and rhythms and in cycles, that anything can come from it, really. It is that reminder to have faith. Even though, you know, like you do research and you see things that have worked, you're still going off of faith. And also, even if you knew something worked, maybe you don't know how well it would work. You know, it's actually really exciting when you think about it, and you should be excited about your business to know that anything is possible. But using astrology as a foundation is just to remind you that things do need foundation and to look at it energetically. So what is the moon sign of your business? What is your moon sign? How are they connected? You know, let's say for an example, we're in Aries season, so I'm going to use Aries as an example. If someone has their moon in Aries, or if your business has its moon in Aries, know the foundation of it is entrepreneurship, because Aries is number one. Aries is passionate. Aries is a leader. Aries is a go-getter. Did I say Aries is independent and wants to do everything by itself? And that's like, if your moon is in Aries, or if your business, if you look at the birth date of your business, has its moon in Aries, know that foundationally that's what you're building it on. And that's actually very strong. Of course, you need other elements and to pay attention to other parts of the chart, but that's the foundation. Also, if your moon is in Aries, or the moon of your business is in Aries, it carries a lot of like fire energy, because Aries is a fire sign. Aries is a fire sign, so at the end of the day, has to be aware of burnout. You know, like astrology can be very literal. Like the element of Aries is fire. And you know, when we talk about burnout, I mean, at least for me, I think of fire. You know, so it has to be aware of go, 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 go. That could be something where, for example, if your moon is in the sign of Aries, or your business, the moon is in the sign of Aries for your business, then know that whatever way you're building it, you need to be aware of having systems in place so that you nor your business burn out. Because energetically, that's what your business is. Energy is everywhere. Everything has energy. Everything has a vibration. Your business as well. So that's just an example of how to use your moon, either your moon or the moon of your business, to build a strong and sturdy foundation. You can build systems around that, you know. And like I said, to relate it to your own life, your own lived experiences, what makes sense. You don't have to just take someone's word for it, but really relate it to what you know is true in your life. It's a pretty amazing system, you know, and it's also nice philosophically because it reminds us of different concepts in our lives. So, yeah. So the moon is the trust, the faith, the foundation, surrendering and letting go. And then it's the feminine. And then we have the masculine, which is taking action. But it always starts with the feminine. So, yeah, your business is an extension of you. It has a pulse, it has a heartbeat, it has its own foundation, it has its own path, the same way that the same way that you do. You don't need to separate the two. They're like yourself and your business, you're quite correlated. Your business is literally an extension of you. It's going to be connected with you. If you have the chart of your business, if you have your own chart, you're going to see similarities, connections, and patterns for sure. So, yeah. So to end it out, that's what you want for your business. Build it with strength energetically by paying attention to these things. You know, there are some people in this world that they time things based off of patterns. Astrology is a set of energy and it's a set of patterns. You could even open your business or do specific things in your business looking at astrological patterns. Like, for example, this is Aries season. This is a great time to get things started, entrepreneurship, new things. Go, 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 go. You have the energy, you have the drive, you have the passion. You have the leadership, you know? It's a fire sign. It's going to be seen. Visibility should be easier. Of course, it does depend on your own astrological chart. But in general, for the collective, that's what Aries energy is. So use that to your advantage. Learn about these things and use it to your advantage. But start with the moon. Definitely start with the moon when building the foundation of your business. It's a very, very, very strong base. So that's what I have. Thank you so much for watching. My information will be down below. And yeah, pricing as well. If you'd like to book a session, I'm offering business astrology one-to-one consultations. Let's take a look at your business. Let's take a look at you, what you have going on energetically, and let's build some strong systems. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.